Well, good morning. This is Malcolm McCauley, physical therapist, here at LightSpeed Lift Movement Center with tips and tricks on using body weight support to improve gait. Today what I want to talk about is I was looking through an article from 2015, presentation at Combined Sections meeting of the Physical Therapy Association, and they were talking about motor learning for treating running injuries. And it was Richard Willey and Darcy Reisman that put this talk on. And I thought what was super significant to me was that they both made the comment that repetition of a task, especially repetition with feedback done correctly, was more important than strength. And that you really needed to have the feedback to basically reorganize your brain. We think of running as a simple, natural act, but it's actually a pretty complex series of events that's going on. Otherwise, we fall flat on our face. If you think about it, our arms have to be going, our hips are moving, our legs are going, we have to gauge how much force to land with. Sometimes we have to jump around tree roots. So being able to do that with, if you had to think of that, there's no way it could happen. There's no computer yet generated that can do that. And yet people have the ability to learn how to do that. And they can also relearn. Now the challenge comes in for us as therapists, or typically when people come in for gait retraining, is that they've had a hitch in their giddy-up for a while. They've got a specific limp, they've got maybe a swing in their gait, they're used to stepping way out, landing, they cross over. There's many, many habits that can bring on overloading the tissue. And what we're oftentimes trying to do is get them to change those mechanics so that the body can move more efficiently. I know there's studies out there that show that just let people run and they're going to be the most efficient possible. But to be honest, I don't believe those studies. I think if we can optimize mechanics by giving proper time and feedback, people can lessen their chance of injuries. One of the ways, or perhaps the biggest way that both Reisman and Willey talked about this, was the repetition with some external feedback. We oftentimes will tell our clients, keep your pelvis level, bend your knee, don't land so far out and forward. But if they haven't actually seen that, that's a tricky thing to do. Here's a form of feedback that we use here at the LightSpeed Movement Center, videotape. Showing people how they actually are running is great, because we all think we know how to run. But many of us have picked up some hitches in our giddy-up, and really when they come here, any kind of clinic, they've been in pain for a while. This isn't when they first showing up. Some of the things may be due to weakness, and I think some of the things are just habitual. Watch this first video, and you'll see how stiffly this runner lands on her left leg. Now, she's had significant surgeries on that leg. She's been in pain for about 9 months, but she really lands no shock absorption there. So having her see that made a big difference in how she was able to run. In the next video then, we're looking at her from behind, and what you see is when she lands on her left leg, her right hip drops down significantly, which may be weakness, could be a little bit of flinch due to the pain, or it just could be a habit. Her knees tend to be very close together, and her left foot goes out and around more than you'd like to see. We put her on the body weight support system where she was up about 20 to 25 pounds. And I do this so that they can get rid of a little bit of pain, plus start to feel what more normal running mechanics are like. There's no sense in just yelling at somebody that's not doing it correctly. So in this next video, we can see her running from behind again. And watch how much more level that right hip stays when the left leg lands. She's got her knees apart, which has shown us some better stride mechanics, and there's a little bit less of that left foot going out and around, although that habit is pretty wired in. And from the side, looking at her, again, for her, landing with that left leg so stiffly has become her pattern, I think, since a surgery about 3 years ago. Now it's even worse because she's got more pain. So we gave her some drills to do, had her come back in about 3 weeks, added a little bit of an external focus to help her get that left leg coming through straighter. And here's what she looks at from the front. What you can see is that the left leg does indeed come through better. She appears to be landing with a little bit of cushion, and there's some spacing between her knees. So in this case, adding the external focus, giving her some drills to work on at home, the whole form has changed, and I think she's on her way to becoming a better runner with less pain. So if you can come up with those kind of tips, show the client those tips, take away the pain, you're going to have better success with your motor returning. So that's our tips and tricks for today. Remember to like this video. Please send us some comments. Love to hear what you're thinking about and some problems that you're having. And subscribe to our channel.